Hey guys, today's Tuesday. Today was a really huge trading range on the daily chart, but insanely boring day, I have to admit. So today I was trading a high resistance market maker sell model, 1030 long close macro continuation to the downside with the daily chart, but really took its time and yeah, really boring. So was sitting through the whole AM session today with the beginning of 9:30. Did not want you to take anything in here. Really was patient, and yeah, we are finally here, being green on the day. But yeah, definitely took its time today. So let's break this trade down, or today's conditions. So as you can see right here, we have already this huge expansion also way before 9:30. So we fell short of daily highs right here, but we traded back to a hourly rejection block right there. I also marked out the quadrant levels of the huge new weak opening gap right there. So let's drop to the hourly chart. Right here you can see already the aggressive expansion before the opening, and here we have really more difficult conditions, but now we are slowly but definitely aiming for the close in of the huge new week opening gap. So that's what I was aiming for. As you can see right here, the bodies still are missing at the low of the huge new week opening gap, therefore I'm still kind of more leaning towards bearish. And also we have a high time frame gap, which definitely got respected right there, but we also do have this huge wick to the upside. So I think with that we can drop to a 50-minute chart. The sessions are a bit more clear right here. Also the quadrants of the new week opening gap. And yeah, so before we go into today's executions, let's take a look on regular trading hours. As you probably expect, we have a insanely huge new opening range gap. So 932 handles. That's a lot. And actually to trade such conditions is really difficult, because you can't really know if you're really going to close in today's open range gap or if you continue just towards lower. But on such conditions, we just have to stick to the basics. So what do we have? We have such a huge inefficiency, therefore we expect AM to be a retracement. Why? Because the previous session, Asia, London, and New York Open Kill Zone already expanded lower, therefore AM has to be a retracement, and then we expect, or we can aim for a London close macro or 1030 market maker sell model towards the downside, sweeping AM session liquidity, eventually even expanding lower. So in that case, we are definitely not reacting to or of today's lower coordinate level, but what we did is we traded back to the low of previous new open range gaps right here, and on the 50-minute chart it becomes perfectly clear that we clearly respect the low of Monday's open range gap, and therefore we can expect some resistance right there at the level. So back to the executions. So basically on such days where aim is definitely going to be a retracement, because we have basically done no damage to the buy side and only trade lower, also trade into the higher time frame gap right here, and we can definitely look perfectly for longs with the opening. The only problem today was, to me, the opening really looked horrible. So I mean, everything is in play, and you could definitely, oh sorry guys, definitely go long in here. But in that case, to me, I did not really like how it looks, especially in a 5-minute chart. Look at the huge wicks we have right here. That's to me, indicating difficult conditions. I did not really like to participate in anything in there. Also, trading against the hourly wick. That's not really a perfect outlook, but in that case, we're also trading aligned with regular trading hours, because we're trading back to the upper quarter level and also back to New York Open Kill Zone by the liquidity. So definitely possible to look for longs, but today there was definitely not a setup which I really liked, so I did not take any trades. Nothing wrong with that. So then, super patient. I was really waiting already looked for shorts right there, right there even, but yeah, really patient. We have to admit that we need to be patient if we want to look for shorts. We have to wait for the right time, 10:30 at least, if not even better the London close macro. So yeah, once we basically close below the inversion triangle gap right there, I think we got we saw a really nice reaction, went short right there, and really yeah, got stopped instantly. Basically not instantly, but definitely a stop run right there. Went once again short in here. Was aiming for my first partial, I think, for the body lows right here. Did not get that and got stopped out break even. In that case, I think it's not really perfectly well done. I think we should have gone for the low-hanging fruit right here with the first partial. With that, I would be also break even on a day. Then move definitely our stop towards break even how we did. And we are basically with that also done for the day, probably. But yeah, that could have been a possibility. But I was really convinced that yeah, we just have a market maker sell model being in play. I think on the 5 minute it becomes perfectly clear. So right here you can see yeah, really original consolidation, market maker sorry, buy side of the curve and then sell side of the curve, and we are trading aligned with the high time frame, so with the daily chart, also kind of with the hourly chart, because we are definitely respecting the high time frame right here, high time frame fair value gap. And we have this still wick, this huge hourly wick to the downside, so we are still missing a body in here that's still unfinished business. Therefore was really kind of convinced that we're going to trade lower. So re-enter right here, basically within the wick as a PD array. Really like that, actually, I have to say. And also perfect stop loss placement. So I had it first only above the wick right here, high of the wick. Basically rejection block, but then I noticed that we have this huge rejection block also in the 5 minute chart, and as you see right here, we have really high resistance, so long wicks, and most of the time we trade into them and then trade lower. So therefore I yeah, widened my stop above CE, and that was perfectly or really important, because we are still trading in high resistance, and therefore we do see deeper retracements than we like. But yeah, it was really important, did not get stopped. And then right here, I think I typed out I want now low resistance, was a bit too early in that case, because with opening up the hourly candle, it's also, or that's also some insights, with opening up the new hourly candle with 11, it's more likely that we're going to see a short-term run on stops. That's like the same with 10 a.m. Always, if we open up a new hourly candle, we kind of should expect yeah, lower time frame manipulation, because that's like the wick to the upside on the hourly chart, so power free. But then we trade lower, and right here we enter low resistance, so trading lower, also creating displacement right here, breakaway gap. Did not want to see that we close bodies within or in the upper half of the gap, and we did not. We had definitely time distortion right here. Why? Because that's the lower quadrant level of the daily wick. No, not daily wick, daily quadrant. So the new week opening gap, also 8:30 opening price, still important, still after also 11. But yeah, we traded lower, took my first partial right here, really important. With that, I'm now also break even, and with trading my stop up on the day, and then I got stopped right there. Yeah, I was first only aiming towards 9:30, and that's the perfect yeah, close to look for. But in that case, because I already took previous losses, I like to mitigate those losses right there. And in that case, it could have been, I could have also still only hold for 9:30. Still, I was really thinking about the huge wick right there, where we still have CE as a remaining target. So the wick stays inefficient or unbalanced until we trade back to CE, and that's what we basically fell short of. But we also reached 11:30, so that's where we want to be really cautious, because right there we are also running out of time. So like that, I trade my stop really tight, and yeah, that's the trade of today. High resistance market maker sell model aligned with basically the higher time frame. I don't know, not the best conditions to trade, especially compared with yesterday. It's almost not really worth it to even trade such conditions, even if I end up on in green on a day. But I like how I stay patient. I like how I trade with reason, and I think today was still managed really well. So yeah, thank you for your attention and safe trading.